This would be the 16th of October, I think, 2025. It's a foggy morning. There's kind of mist, or wet mist falling. If you look in the background there, you'll see a crow flying across, but you'll also see that Rah wind farm is closed down. The blades are not going round. The contribution of wind at this minute to Ireland's 5,000 megawatt demand is only 0.046%, 0.046%, or a half of 1%, and not even that. So the lie that's been told to sell this stuff and to market the right of wind energy companies to pull money out of your bill is that RTE and others tell you on a certain day it gave so much power, but they don't tell you then that on other days it gives no power at all. And when you measure them over a year, I have said their contribution to the electricity in the grid is it's negative. In other words, you're better with none at all. You'd have cheaper electricity and you wouldn't be burning as much coal, oil and gas. I've also went to a lot of trouble to show you that the heat pumps are another Ponzi scheme, another cod of a thing. They're just electric central heating. Insofar as they do heat the house sometimes, well, they do that, but so does an ordinary radiator, or any kind of electric heater will do the same. Now, so anyway, the purpose of this video is to deal with potential pyramid selling schemes, and one of them that's on the mention and they have copped onto is QNet, QNET, or QN they call it sometimes. Now, it's a global organization. It's banned in India following protests in Bangalore. It was banned there. Now, to say that the people protested about it, they came out on the street protesting, does not mean necessarily that it's a fraud. People can be unhappy or they can be misled or whatever. But anyway, it's banned in Italy. It was banned in Cameroon, and then the company met the government, and apparently it's unbanned now again. And I see a video today that is banned in Burkina Faso. That in Burkina Faso, and there's local branches of QNet, that a lot of people, mainly women, were lured in, a bit like drug dealing, and then when they got in, they got them into debt, and then they tried to make their family and friends all partake in the scheme, which is selling goods, certain types of goods. They call it direct selling. Now, direct selling is nothing new. If you go into a shop, that's direct selling. They're selling to you there. But they are a middle company. The only direct selling would be like McCarran's bacon factory in Cavan, where they make the pork products and sell them there and then. Now, so anyway, I'm not saying that QNet is all fraud or all a Ponzi scheme. It has been described as such. The new government under President Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso has, according to a video I've seen, which looks very authentic, banned it, and there were reports of people being entrapped in it and that sort of stuff. So what I'm saying about QNet is they can drop a line to Val Martin, Kingscourt, County Cavan, and explain it, and I'll meet you, and if you're genuine, I'll withdraw it. And I say I'm not particularly saying that QNet in Ireland is all legitimate, and if they have a company in every country, then how they police that is something I don't understand. It's not easy done. So it's a matter of beware. Pyramid selling schemes happen all the time. There was one in Cavan when I was in the Guards, and they fooled lots of people. And when I was interviewing the culprit, he ripped off the IRA. The IRA invested in him. They came to him and said, why is our money not all right? And he was a bit dodgy of them. Well, why do you not take our money, you see, and invest in this codology? He got afraid. He skipped it. And I had interviewed him, and he told me about the IRA being after him, and I couldn't stop laughing when I heard the IRA was made fools of. They robbed the Northern Bank in Belfast of 32 million euros, and they were trying to put it into a Ponzi scheme. I couldn't stop laughing. And he then says, by the way, there's one or two guards involved. I don't know whether they're retired or serving, But some guards got their gratuity when they were retired, or some of them had a bit of money and they invested it into that. Now, there was another thing called Euphony, which was some kind of a communications network. And then there was the flotation of Aircom. You remember way back, the Irish telephone company floated on the stock exchange and everyone went in head over heels. And of course, that wasn't a Ponzi scheme, but they made nothing. They made nothing. I don't know if you had them yet, and that's 20 years ago, would you make anything? But I never had anything to do with that, right? When I was joined the Gardaí, there came a man in one day with the blessing of the chief of Templemore, selling us insurance policies, and he gave a big resume about his insurance policy. You paid so much a week, and you got a month, and you got 6,000 at the end of 30 years, I think it was. Every single guard that ever went through Templemore that I know of, and if there's any didn't, I'd like to hear from them, signed up straight away, and I refused. I was the only one, I think, in the entire Garda Síochána that didn't sign up for this. It was run by a fellow called Matty, and he was a well-known Galway footballer. And he was making the point I was a footballer. I said, I don't give a damn what the hell about that? What's that to do with my money? Anyway, I was moved up to Ballymote at my first station. I'm just sorry, you can hear the grey crows going mad up there. I used to shoot them. I'm going to get after them again, I'll tell you. They're pulling, doing damage all over the place. But anyway, I go back to the point, and I'm upsetting me video. Anyway, the point about it is that I was in Ballymote 8 months later when this man came up and met the super and spoke to the super about this guard Martin, who didn't sign up to the insurance scheme, and he was Matty, and he was this, that, and the other. I think he's dead now. And the super called me back off my beat and said, I want you to introduce you to this man. Say, I know this man, I said to the super. And the super was a nice man, a good man to me. I know him. He's Matty, and he sells insurance policies. He says, you'll have a chat with him there on the back. I said, I'll have no chat. I'm signing nothing. And I had come back in for a cup of tea and decided not to bother, and I walked out. And he followed me down the street in Ballymote and Sligo, demanding I take his policy. He didn't want to have it to say that he didn't get every single guard in the country. But I didn't sign up. Of course, by the time the 6,000 came up, other people drew it. It was well inflated, and he obviously had his cut, and the insurance company made money. Maybe I was right or maybe I was wrong. Comment underneath, but the main point I'm saying is I was always a sort of a refusenik. I wasn't going to be had too easily by anyone, and I've always said my skill is the ability to count, and I hope I have it for another while. Now, the thing about it is, folks, and all of this is that beware of Ponzi schemes. I'm always going dawdling along the road. I want a pint of milk and a pound of butter or a loaf of bread, and I turn around and I go into the shop, and I just want to get through, and there's these women mainly, but some men, lottos. Give me that one. And some of them scratch them there and put them into the machine and see does it read. That's a Ponzi scheme. The National Lottery, and all national lotteries, operate on about a 77% payout. That means if you play it for 1,000 years, you'll occasionally win 1 million, but over the 1,000 years, you'll be down 77%. That's where they get their money. That's where they get these good causes. And if you want to buy the lotto because you support some football club or some swimming club or something, or some local county councillor's great idea to help them get elected, then that's all right if you do it for that. But why not contribute directly? If you want to pay to the football club, why not buy their tickets there? It's the same thing. I don't know if anyone ever win them either. But at least you know where they're going, and you have an odd big day out for when they win the county final, or hopefully. You know what I mean? So you can do that directly. But they're there in the shops every day, and I have pity on them. Poor old ladies with very, very little. And there was a woman rang into the radio station the other day, and she said she only had £6 when she paid the ESB bill. €6 left. You see, she could be a smoker, God help her, but she could also be a lotto player. She could be spending 30, 40 a week on the lotto. Now, I had a song. I don't know that many of you see it. I'll try and dig it up and post it underneath here as well. I had a song, the scratching song. It's based on Waylon Jennings' I'm Busted. song. So anyway, I don't know will I be able to dig it up for you. But anyway, folks, that's the story. QNet need to contact me. I don't know will they. You need to be very careful. There was a lads going around here in the last month, going around the northeast, Loudmead, saying that they were after having a fire sale. They had a great company, they had great products. They were sold out, they were made bankrupt, and their goods were sold against their wishes, and they have one or two things they didn't sell, and you'll buy, and open the boot, and there's a new Stihl chainsaw or a new Husqvarna chainsaw, and of course they're Chinese or other places fake. They are fake. They're fake products. They're not Husqvarna as they look. They're not Chinese. I know them inside out. I've had people, friends, neighbours, come to me trying to sell me chainsaws, and you'll sell them and they're all fake. Don't be caught out buying fake generators or fake anything. Make sure you know the source, because you might not get parts and they're not the same quality. The parts may not be hardened or tempered at all. A person making a generator has to make an engine, and the engine may be a diesel or a petrol engine, and the crankshaft has to have certain materials. There has to be hardening and tempering carried out, and the people must know what they're doing. There has to be a certain degree of quality. You wouldn't buy a billhook made out of mild steel because it wouldn't last. It has to be cast or carbon steel or tool steel. Do you understand? Or a drill bit has to be high-speed steel. Well, they can fool you because it looks the same. So don't be caught out by that baloney, right? So anyway, folks, that's my little bit on Ponzi schemes. These things are Ponzi schemes. They're an RTE marketed Ponzi scheme. Wind energy is a Ponzi scheme. Solar energy is a Ponzi scheme, all relying on fossil fuel. And the heat pumps are not a Ponzi scheme in that they do heat a bit, but they heat no better than an ordinary electric heater or an ordinary convection heater you buy in the electricity shop. But they use a lot more power, an awful lot more power, and as a result, the bills are going through the roof. And don't be fooled by people. Oh, it's great. They're lying to you. People who get heat pumps in will lie. They don't want to admit they've been made idiots of. Okay, we'll see you back. I think somebody mentioned there about chimneys on houses. You can put a chimney on a house, yes. I think the reality may be you can't have an open fire. So if I were building a house, you have to have a blacksmith stove or one of those stoves. But you could make it in such a way that you could put in an open fire later. And I'm telling you, in my main house, we have 2 open fires. And you wouldn't leave them on a winter's evening. They're absolutely beautiful. You need to raise your open fire grate about that height, 1 brick on its edge. And open fires are often too near the ground. Put them up 1 brick. And put your head above, all about 4.5 inches above the normal height. Have your fire up a little bit and you get the great heat. Anyway, that's the regulation from the Greens and Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. I have to mention them. Look, we leave them for a moment. The main thing is, folks, there's as Gay Byrne used to say, there's 1 Byrne every minute. And people here made little of Gay Byrne and spoke very negative of him. I'm not so sure it's fair to be down on Gay like that. He's dead and gone. I'm not so sure. I think he had a good lot of wit. He was fooled himself, of course, twice by Russell Murphy and another fella. So I wasn't fooled yet. No, several us try it. As you go through your life from you're a child up till you're an old person, you will be the victim and the attempted victim of Ponzi schemes, and it's up to you to learn how to deal with it, carry out your own due diligence, check out well, ask around, and be very careful who you give your money to. Is that fair enough? And QNet is suspect. It's suspect. It may be in different countries. Talks of kidnapping women, making their families pay to join up for other junk nobody wants. And most thing about pyramid selling schemes, they'll either offer you nothing or a promise of money, which is hard, or they'll offer you some goods. And then the goods you don't want. There's a fella going around selling knives and forks, little packet, and Jamie Oliver was selling them. Now, if you want them, surely they're all right. Some of them are very poor quality. Some of them are good enough quality. But the thing about it is that you only buy what you need. If you buy more than you need, what are you doing with it? Okay, I'll see you back soon. Comment underneath. This is about pyramid selling schemes, QNet, just to be careful there. They're an internet crowd. You go on the net. Apparently, in parts of Africa, they promise you a job in a foreign country, great times, accommodation, and all. That's what's said. I don't know. So a young lad in Africa says, who has no hope of anything, sees, oh, there's a job going. We'll sort you out. We have all the expertise. Don't fall for that. Do not fall for it. If that's what it is, and no matter what company it is, you do your due diligence, including QNet. I buy stuff off the internet. I bought 2 million cutters the other day. I do it, but I never put my my credit card into dodgy ones. I would put my credit card into something I know fairly well. I would do that. If I was buying maybe paying bills to the department of that. But what I have is this swirl card, and you only put 100 into that. And so I bought my 2 million cutters, they were 34 euros with this one. So they can only take 100. And it's a good idea. Now it's tighter all, you have to show your passport now to get it done. But anyway, I'm only giving you that you need to be careful, because we're in a world where not even our government is honest, where our government is dishonest in the highest and highest degree. Comment underneath. We'll see you back soon. Good luck. Thank you. This is the 16th, I think, of August. It's a Thursday as far as I know. I haven't looked at my clock today, but I think that's the situation. Good luck. We'll see you back.